Call this meeting to order. I appreciate everybody coming out this evening for the second public hearing. I'm going to try to speak up. Hopefully you can hear me better tonight. I know it's hard to hear sometimes in this room, but I'm going to speak up. And it's good to see everybody here. We do have another room here that's got chairs in it with a TV set where you can still sit in there and watch everything going by in here. There's like 13 chairs in there. If you want to go in there and have a seat, you can do that. And we'll get started with this meeting. We're gonna have a prayer by Commissioner Barrios tonight, pledge allegiance by Commissioner Cook. We'll have the roll call by Madam Clerk Fetting. And we'll get going. Please join.
Lord, as we begin this meeting today, please guide us, give us wisdom, help us to unify our efforts. Our intent is to serve the people of our community. Help us to do this with respect and collaboration. Guide our elected officials, our president, protect our defense, protect our military. Today is going to be an interesting evening, and I pray for what may happen. Bless us all as we gather together to make the best decision in this situation today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, last time at the meeting, I'm sorry.
That's good.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioner Barrios?
Here.
Commissioner Bardwell?
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Here.
Commissioner Lutz?
Here.
Commissioner Cook?
Here.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you. Last time I started to give a rundown of, the relationship between the road commission board and the county board through the years and how it got to where we are today. I see a lot of the same faces. I'm not going to go into that again. I made the comment that this was about checks and balances only and accountability, and I will stand by that. So what I want to start by reading the comment that we said you could send comments to the controller's office. You couldn't be here to the meeting, so one was sent, and I was reading it, and it kind of explains just what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from. And it was sent by Terry Halford, attorney law, Akron, Michigan. And he writes, "Dear Commissioners, I'm submitting this for your consideration regarding whether to transfer the powers, duties, functions of the Tuscola County Road Commission to the Tuscola County Board of Commissioners pursuant to Section 6(8) of the County Road Law, MCL 224-.6. As some of you are aware, I was a Tuscola County Commissioners and a member of the board which voted to release the Tuscola County Road Commission from the direct supervision of the Tuscola County Board of Commissioners. Prior to that time, the Road Commission was under direct control of the County Board of Commissioners, with us, among other things, appointing the members of the Road Commission having the last say on controversial matters that would come before us from time to time. During our debate, I argued against releasing the Road Commission from our supervision due to my belief and the fear that the public would have nowhere to turn should they experience unfair treatment and were not present at overseas. Unfortunately, history has proven my fears to be correct. Prior to the sad passing of Commissioner Tom Young, Commissioner Young, Wisner Township Supervisor Tim Rumble, and I started working together on developing a path to return the Road Commission back under the supervision of the Tuscola County Board of Commissioners. Pursuant to our discussion, it was my understanding that Commissioner Young was the liaison between the Board of Commissioners and the Road Commission. He expressed great dismay with the Road Commission for the most part not conducting meaningful discussions with him nor providing information he requested with the Road Commissions, going so far as to tell staff not to cooperate with him. Wisner Township Supervisor Rumble told us the Road Commission during a regular road meeting refused to allow him to address them directly, instead instructing him to speak to them through the engineer who was present at the meeting. Supervisor Rumble expressed absolutely furious with the road commission, expressing that Commissioner Young and myself was disbelief by being told they had to go through an unelected official rather than allowing him to directly access the board. He was in total disbelief. The township supervisor then assessed the general public in such fashion. Mr. Young stated received a lot of complaints regarding the road commission, but his hands were tied because the road commission basically wouldn't discuss or refuse to engage with him. I have no doubt this board knows the foregoing regarding Commissioner Young to be true. Supervisor Rumble expressed how difficult it was to work with the road commission and was organizing other townships experiencing the same types of difficulties. Then he goes on talking about a little family dispute he had with the road commission, which I find irrelevant, but I'm just jumping to the very last part of it. And it says, in my opinion, and steadfast belief of the county would be far better off with the operations of the road commission being brought back under the control and supervision of the board of commissioners. This needs individuals, townships would be better served and save taxpayer dollars. We would make a mistake by releasing the road commission during my tenure on the board of commissioners, and I strongly urge this board to right the mistake that we made. Respectfully yours, Chair Hoffman. And I want to read that for you because you see in the paper about taking over complete functions and all that stuff, and that inside is not really where I'm feeling. I've always felt like when there's a tie, the county board can unbreak the tie. That's my position. And that's what I tell you all these people. The buck has to stop at this board. And so that's why I read it to him, because he's basically saying the way I'm feeling is nothing against the road commission board. I'm just saying when there's a problem, there's an issue, and this board needs to get involved with it, they need to be able to get involved with it. As of right now, you can't get involved with it because they don't have to answer to anybody but their board. So I just wanted to read that to you, throw that out there, because that's the way, my whole feeling is that there's got to be a board somewhere. There's got to be somebody to look at a tie, and this board is the last board of defense for all residents of Tuscola County. So, you hear other things about it's a power grab, it's a money thing. It's checks and balances with me, and that's all I'm looking at is what the guys do. Checks and balances. There's got to be somebody that can break a tie when we have a problem. So again, we're going to allow public to get up here to speak. You get up to the podium, you state your name, where you're from. You have 3 minutes. If you need more, ask the board for it. And if everything's going the right direction, I'm sure it's not an issue either, because we do want to hear your thoughts and what's going forward. Anybody on the board have anything to say before we get started? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am Brent Dankert, Coylton Township. I am the highway engineer for Tuscola County Road Commission. And last Thursday, I ran over on time. I practiced this time, and I am going to be slightly over, so I will ask at the forefront if I may extend it.
Okay.
Right. So before we begin tonight, I want to address our community directly. There are people here who mistake the Tuscola County Road Commission's careful, deliberate approach for inaction. It is not. Our commissioners and staff have been in near constant contact, talking to residents, reviewing data, and examining what we do. We know that silence has been wrongly interpreted as indifference. That is not who we are. Furthermore, we're devastated that another accident has occurred this weekend at Hertz Corner. Our hearts are with the people involved and their family. So today, before this meeting, we've developed a plan to support the increased safety while our ongoing work continues. I'm going to read the 6 intersections and what our plan entails. Deckerville and Hertz Corner, to paint the stop ahead on the pavements on the north and south legs of Hertz Corner. That's a new something being added. Additional stop ahead signs on the north and south legs of Hertz Corner with reflective strips. That's new additional signage. There's only one currently. Increase of the stop sign size on north and south legs of Hertz Corner up 48-inch and upgrade. Evans and Hertz Corner will be installed dual 36-inch stop signs on the north and south legs of Hertz Corner with reflective strips. There's currently only one. Install dual 36-inch stop ahead signs on north and south legs of Hertz Corner with reflective strips. That's new additional signage because there's currently only one. Install 8 cross traffic does not stop signs on the north and south legs of Hertz Corner. That's new because there's not 8 out there currently. And in conjunction with MDOT's 2026 project, the intersection itself will be converted to a temporary 4-way stop. M46 and Hertz Corner, in conjunction with MDOT, the intersection will be upgraded to the standard sign 145A for cross traffic does not stop. Vassar and M138, MDOT is currently in the process of upgrading that intersection to the standard 145A cross traffic does not stop as part of their 2026 project. Irish and Birch Run Road, increase the stop sign size on the south leg of Irish Road 48-inch. It's an upgrade. Paint the stop ahead on those south legs of Irish Road also. That's new. Birch Run and 15, increase the stop sign size at the east and west legs of Birch Run to 48-inch. That's an upgrade. Paint the stop ahead on the pavement's east and west legs of Birch Run. That's new additional. And collaborate with MDOT during our safety study. These are interim measures. They do not replace the shortcut, the comprehensive safety study that we are committed to completing. We are listening, but we're also acting now. This is consistent with what other counties have done and are doing in this era of increased instances of distracted driving. And it's consistent with accepted traffic engineering practices as a temporary measure. Our safety study is not stalled. It is being done correctly. And I want to explain what that means because I think it really matters to the people that are here tonight. We are not studying one intersection. We're reviewing 6 locations scattered across the county, simultaneously on top of other intersections that are already in the queue, that have already been requested by the townships. That means we're currently working through more than a dozen locations that deserve our attention and our precision. What we do at one location sets the standard for every location. If we install a traffic light here, we'll be asked, why isn't there one over there? If we had rumble strips at this corner, our policy must be justifiable. So where and when rumble strips are appropriate everywhere. That is not bureaucracy delay. That is governance, consistent, defensible, and fair to every taxpayer in this county. Our team has been processing the accident data and working to get all of our 2026 work out the door, all at the same time. We still do not have last year's crash data fully updated in our system. These are not excuses, though that's exactly what most people will think they are. But they're a reality of what it takes to do the work correctly. Because the worst thing we can do is rush to an answer that fails. Legally, technically, or practically, and leave this community worse off than before. Our current policies have served this county well for a very long time, but we're all visible. We all understand today the world is changing. Distracted driving is a statewide epidemic. This is happening everywhere, and road commissions across Michigan are being forced to look harder at their policies. Until recently, they used to work just fine. We're doing that. We've been doing that, and we'll continue to work on upgrading those policies to meet the current conditions that we are facing as a society. What we'll not do is make a decision for one intersection that we cannot defend at the next intersection. We will not implement a fix that our own data cannot support, and we will not pretend that any of this is simple, because it isn't. And you, the people of Tuscola County, you deserve better than a simple answer to a complicated problem. The data matters, the process matters, and consistency matters. Because if we abandon those things under pressure today, we'll have nothing left to stand on tomorrow. So I know we talked about it, and I want to be clear about tonight's hearing too. What it is and it's not. Tonight's public hearing is specifically about whether to dissolve the road commission. It's not a general forum on the general road conditions or intersection safety. And I go through and I ask you, Mr. Chairman, that you hold that standard equally for all parties involved as we sit here to discuss tonight. Here's what I do know. The Tuscola County Road Commission has been doing more with less almost than any comparable county in the state. We manage our miles, our bridges, and our resources. We're planning 3 to 5 years out. That is what responsible infrastructure management requires. No county department model or change is going to change any of that funding formula. No reorganization makes the road work any cheaper. It doesn't solve the problem that we have with the accidents today. The money problem isn't going to go away. But what does change is the expertise in the room. What changes is the accountability. What changes is the institutional knowledge that has been built over decades. It cannot be rebuilt once it's gone. We are accountable to this community. We always have been, and we're not going anywhere. Thank you for letting me have extra time, Mr. Vaughn.
Thank you. Okay.
Julie Matuzak, Ellington Township, Carroll, Michigan. I'm going to tell you, I have a statement. I think it's important for me to read the whole thing, if that's okay, and I know it will exceed probably the 3 minutes, Commissioners. So please bear with me. Okay. I have sat in the seat of the chairman through a lot of difficult meetings. And to be honest with you guys, tonight, this is the worst and the most difficult one I have ever had to be. Because this weekend, there was another accident, a young woman, someone's daughter, somebody's partner who was hurt at one of our intersections. And I can tell you that my thoughts have been with her, her family, and everybody involved since that. I've done, just to let you know, the vehicle did stop and then proceeded through the intersection from what the preliminary investigation shows. I just want to, so, excuse me, I do know that.
Yeah.
So,
You
I am
won't-
the chair of the
you
road
won't
commission,
interrupt, yeah.
and I feel that. I also feel something else. I want to name it plainly. I'm watching the people on the commission, people who have given years of their lives to the county, to be characterized as indifferent, as slow, as not caring. Nothing can be further from the truth. You've heard it from Brent, you're hearing it from me. What you may not know is what it looks like to sit where I am sitting. It's the phone calls every day since Thursday. It's looking at the commissioners are working with the staff, going back and forth, trying to make decisions for this intersection and for every intersection in the county that comes after it. It also, people, as Brent said, going through paperwork, processing crashes that are done by hand, who understands the wrong decisions made quickly is far more dangerous than the right ones made carefully. That is who we are. And yes, we're acting because we have listened. We heard you guys talk on Thursday. We heard you in the parking lot. I've heard you on Facebook. We've heard you all weekend long. We're ready to decide on a series of actions that Brent has described. It is consistent with the other road commissions across Michigan and are trying to control the epidemic of distracted drivers that is continuing to grow. And the decision can be found because we do not make decisions we can't defend. I want to take to something that Brent said. Consistency is a bureaucracy nicety. It is a foundation of fairness. When we set a standard at one intersection, we are setting it for every family at every corner in this town. Every decision we make must be one we can stand behind. Next time someone walks through the door with another legitimate concern, and I know they will be. They always do. That's our job to take it seriously. I also want to clarify, as a chair, I believe in this institution. I believe in an independent road commission does and why it exists. I believe in the expertise in the life inside this organization. Expertise that took decades to build and cannot be downloaded, transferred, reorganized into existence. If you dissolve this commission, you do not get a better road department. You do have the same roads, the same funding, and the same statewide challenges. None of the specialized knowledge is carried over tonight's hearing has one specific purpose. It's about governance and about whether this commission should continue to exist as an independent body. It is not any single intersection we will ask that is conducted such thoroughly in every speaker in this room. But I want to close with something that's not procedural, if you let me. I believe in Tuscola County. I believe in the people in this county. I believe in the ones that drive these roads every day and trust that someone is paying attention out here. We are paying attention. We have always been paying attention. And no matter what happens in this room tonight, we will show up because that's who the road commission is, and we always have. And we are accountable to the community, and we have always been. And as long as you give us the opportunity to do the work, we always will. And I would like to thank every road commissioner employee tonight. Thank you.
My name is still Ken Hutton. I was here last week. Came this time to apologize to those who I offended last time. That was not my intent. I was talked to by 3 or 4 people outside afterwards. And I received a great hug from one of the ladies over here who was on the opposite side. A hug I'll never forget. I've tried to help people my entire life. Excuse me. I don't believe you make it to 81 years old by not being a nice person. Now, number 2, you're asking how we should go. I feel that the road commission should continue to run themselves as their own board. They seem to do as good a job as any of the road commissions around here. They do it without overspending their money. Not like this board, who's, I understand, over $1 million in debt. So how do you think you can run the road commission too? So that's my question. That's all I have to say this time.
No.
I'm Brandon Putman. I live in Cass City is my address. I went to Carroll Schools, but I'm going to kind of simplify this a little bit. From what I understand is we're brought here today as due diligence for the board to have their 2 public hearings before you guys go to a vote to decide to put a vote on whether or not the road commission should be absorbed into the county legislation, so to speak. I think, as a conservative, whenever we can streamline our government, that's the best choice possible. But aside from that, whenever we can, especially you guys, and I implore you, put to a vote to the community on these decisions, I ask you guys to do that. And that's what we're here to decide to do tonight, or give our opinions to you to decide to do tonight. My opinion, yes, give it to the community. Let us vote. Let us decide as a community what's best for our community. Not you 5 guys decide, I'm sorry, and lady, decide what's best for our community. This is a big decision for Tuscola County. Let the community decide. It's simple. The politics of the enemy, this, that, or last names, or what, let the community decide. And that's simple as your decision. And I hope that you give the community that ability to make that decision. Now, my opinion, I don't think the road commission is doing their job. Not the road commission employees, but the road commission board. I think there's a fine group of employees running that, plowing our roads, keeping the potholes under control, redoing the roads. I think we have a great group of men and women working in our road commission. Our board, unlike the gentleman that was up here giving his speech in the beginning, how many months have gone by since the accident that took and destroyed an Amish family's life? How many months have gone by for there to be action? Now, today, it's up for vote on whether their jobs are on the line. Now there's action. Excuse my French, piss poor action, in my opinion. I don't think no study was done to get that done. But you stand up here and say the studies are so important. Last Saturday, my wife held another child at the intersection of Deckerville and Hertz Corner. 6 months ago, she held my daughter, who got 2 liters of blood in a helicopter on the way to the hospital. She held my daughter unconscious at that intersection 6 months ago. Saturday, she held another baby in her arms after she pulled that baby out of the car. This has got to stop. I think genuinely, everybody in this community, I guess we're not abiding by time. I think
That's keep it pretty close. We'll be here at 1 o'clock in the morning.
a few more seconds.
Yeah.
I think everybody in this community wants the same thing. They want to see us safer, better to Tuscola County. There's no question of that. Let the community decide on which direction to take it. Thank you.
I'm Pat Sheard, former Tuscola County Road Commissioner. In early 2011, some Tuscola County townships were hearing about curb and steel. Obviously, one large consideration would be what would happen to the infrastructure the previous 5 or 6 generations had bought and paid for. The Tuscola County Road Commission was approached about developing the road use agreement. The commission and staff, after many months of studying the potential issues, drafted a 29-page document laying out the steps a wind developer would need to follow to use Tuscola County roads. At that time, this road agreement was considered to be the most comprehensive road use agreement in the state. On the completion of the wind farm construction, several millions of dollars in road and bridge work was completed in the townships that had hosted the wind farms, as well as the county primary roads that were affected. There were also driveways and field approaches that had been damaged and were replaced as well, funded by wind farm developers. I don't think you'll find any township boards disappointed with the reconstruction efforts that was accomplished due to the road use agreement. So my question to the county commission is, if you're successful in disbanding the Tuscola County Road Commission and a project of that magnitude comes forward, do you feel you have the time to develop and administer and plan something like that that protects the citizens of Tuscola County? And more importantly, do you feel you have the skills to do so? And I think it should also be mentioned, the board that developed this road use plan, as well as doing this and the rest of the work expected of them, cost the Tuscola County taxpayers less than $39,000 for the year in total. I find claims of cost savings and to be, people are either they're uninformed or else they're not very realistic. When I was campaigning for road commissioners, I did my best to visit every township in Tuscola County. When asked what I perceived as the pros and cons of an elected commissioner, my response was always that because the road commission wasn't districted, there was potential problems. After 6 months of serving on the board, I discovered that districting just doesn't matter. The bulk of the interaction the board and employees have is with townships. All townships, political districting is meaningless. As far as the primary roads in every case, it's the big picture that the board looks at. Political districting, again, is meaningless. Anyone who wants to take the time to review the last 20 years of primary road work would discover the same thing. Lastly, I'd also point out the current Tuscola County Road Commission board is comprised of members from 4 of the 5 political districts of Tuscola County. You represent. Thank you.
Isaac White, I live near Cass City. I really appreciate that the road commission has decided to go ahead and do something here, but I'm still in favor of the restructuring because it's easy to apologize when you finally have to face consequences. And if the road commission was already under the county commissioners, then you guys would not have had to tolerate their silence for the last 6 months, and none of us would have to be here considering this now. On a different note, I'd like to comment about a few comments that were made at Thursday meeting last week. There were multiple comments, people blaming our law enforcement for the actions of distracted drivers, and I really think that's unfair. I have here the annual report from the sheriff's office, and in 2025, the sheriff's office issued 1,515 traffic-related citations, and that is on top of 5,511 service calls that they also had to handle. That's something that really should be celebrated. I was not able to get similar numbers for the state police, but I'm sure that the state police and our city police are working just as hard.
Thank you.
My name is Jeff Fowler. I live in Juniata Township. Been a resident of Tuscola County my whole life, except for 11 years when I was in the Air Force. So we look at what happened on TV5 today, and the only thing I can think when I see that is if, and this is my opinion only, if the road commission would have been more responsive in the beginning to the people's concerns, this wouldn't have happened. We would have never got to this point. The road commission says they support the people and they do what the people want done. But yet, I can't prove this, but it certainly appears like they're supporting the people during their election. After that, I don't know that they're supporting the people, or at least not in the manner that people expect to at least be acknowledged. I think employees, it's already been said, the employees of the road commission do a great job. They have a difficult job. Nobody's ever happy that the roads get done soon enough. But yet, at the same time, I think that they have a management that could improve significantly. Okay. I'm not going to stress this out. Some of it's already been said. But what I will say is I don't think that we need to replace the road commission. I think that the road commission needs to be accountable to somebody other than the voter once every election cycle. So for that, I believe that what needs to happen is I think the road commission should stay in place, but fall under oversight by this board. Right now, I don't see much oversight except for the people, I'm told, but that doesn't seem to happen very well. The road commission believes that they're supporting the people and they're doing what the people want done. If they believe so strongly in that, then they should have no problem with this going for a vote. Because if the people support them, they will vote in their favor. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Amy Heiser, City of Vassar. I'm here again tonight to formally oppose placing the transfer of the road duties on the ballot without a comprehensive plan and a clear ballot language. Every county in Michigan operates under one of three management structures: a 5-member elected board, a 3-person appointed board, or a road department that is under the county board. It is currently unclear which of these structures the public will be voting on. Furthermore, if the proposal follows the current hearing language to transfer the powers, duties, and functions of the road commission board to the county commissioners, the county would be disqualified from the Michigan County Road Commission self-insurance pool. This loss of liability and fleet insurance coverage would cost the county an estimated $800,000 in annual premiums. These costs are significant and just one of many that need to be addressed. To ensure transparency, the public requires immediate access to the proposed ballot language and a defined plan of action. I urge the board to consider all the options available and provide a detailed plan before taking this to the ballot.
Darcy Guello from outside Cass City. Last time I spoke, I shared about how the concern seemed to be that the road commission wasn't answering our questions. We felt like I was off topic. But the reason I was asking that question is because of accountability. Today, when the chair said that when somebody asks for something to be done at an intersection, you can't just do it at that intersection because you have to have something to back why you do what you do. I would think that saying our boss told us to would be a good answer. The boss being the people. I believe it's best to keep the power closest to the people. And when we elect our officials, that means we're in charge of those officials and they owe us answers. We're their boss. And so when we say we want these questions answered, for them to deflect and say, oh, we're doing the study, we can't tell you this, that, whatever, that's not being accountable to the people. And I feel like either if that's not fixed, then we have to look at other options. But if they're not going to answer our questions, if they're going to let us tell them what we want them to do, I feel like the information that has been given to the road commission, telling them, and the money provided all this other stuff, but they were in the future would say, oh, come, we want you to do this in this intersection. You did it over here. Why did you do it over here? You're not doing it over here. They could easily say, the people told us to. They provided the money, they had meetings, they did all the research, they gave it all, and we're here to serve the people. That's what the road commission is here for. And yes, they have laws they have to abide by, and they have to get within all the permitting and all that stuff, but that's their job, is to find out how to make what we want done, not just do whatever it says over here to do. And I feel like that's the missing piece. We're their boss. When we elect people, we're the boss of the people we elect. We're asking them to work on our behalf to handle certain problems. And if they're not going to work on our behalf, then we're left with difficult options. So I just wanted to bring that point out because I feel like that's the issue we have to find is how do we hold people accountable that are elected who aren't holding themselves accountable to do what they're asked by the people who elected them.
Thank you.
My name is Blake Putman. I live in Ellington Township, Cass City, Michigan. I thought about what we'll talk about tonight. So many different emotions, so many different feelings and personalities, and listen, I'm a physician in the community, and so much, a lot of risk. The word accountability is in my brain. Turns out, what a perfect word. What an absolutely perfect word. Because at this point, up to this point, until I read the paper today, when I'd heard that there's actually action that is potentially taking place, it seemed a lot like that word lip service. It seems like no action was being done. I will tell you that when people are inconvenienced about the roads not being plowed or paved or salted in the way that they think that they should be, that's one thing. When lives are affected and your neighbors surrounding you are fighting for that word accountability, that to be safe in your community, that's a whole different feeling, emotion. Our communities, remember, to hold the elected officials accountable for what they tell us that they're going to do. And I don't know up until this point if that's been done. Why do you ask? Why do you hear? I will tell you very specifically, because my God, Jesus Christ, and we recently celebrated his resurrection, told me, number one, he commanded me to love him with all my heart and with all my soul. The greatest commandment, he said. Number two, to love my neighbor as myself. And if I'm not going to hold my neighbor accountable, what am I doing? Am I loving him? Not like I'm holding myself accountable. I can't love him unless I hold him accountable. As many of you know from reading the paper, CNC, there's another horrific accident in one of the intersections of one of our great community, in our great community. What they did say, because they've kind of constructive things to say about the Putmans a lot of times, is that once again, we were there. My sister, both of them, and my kids were again seconds away from another horrific tragedy. And I will tell you that although physically they weren't hurt, they were able to relive the nightmare that was September 26th, 2025. And as I speak, I'm telling you that that young lady that my sister held while her parents were fighting for their lives. May I have a couple more minutes? I won't be much longer.
It's up to the board.
Yes. I will tell you that from my experience, she won't forget it. As I drove with that young lady to the hospital, reliving my daughter yelling my name, saying, "Daddy, help me." And this young lady saying, "Blake, help me." I will tell you the last thing that she's doing as she recovers from surgery today is thinking, what's the study going to show? What she's probably thinking is how our community leaders can be held responsible and accountable for what they said they would do, which is keep us safe. If you want data, guys, if the road commission wants data, I got some people to interview. I got some people that you can talk to. I got some neighbors that you can sit down and have a cup of coffee with. I've heard there's going to be a multi-year study. I got some questions. When's it going to start? How much is it? Have we looked at the data that we already have? I mean, Isaac just had some. What intersections are we going to study? The whole county? Just recently, the commission stated that there's a slightly larger sign that's going to go on these sections. So some reflective tape. Did we do a study? Why all of a sudden now, when everybody's complaining, they're up, now we're all of a sudden there's some accountability. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a traffic study expert or a guide to tell you what intersection. I know my family was affected by one of them. There's 5 of them, there's 6 of them, I think, in our community that we're all concerned about. What I am going to say is the men and women and children of this community are sick of pulling loved ones out of vehicles that are unrecognizable. I'm not here to go into specifics about why I believe we're here. I've heard so many arguments about drivers being more distracted, about deer and animals, about foreigners not knowing when to start and stop or go. Last time I think she said that I wasn't a defensive driver. And I implore you, because I heard you take accountability. That's what I think we need. God bless you for doing that. These statements, I think, are really easy. Let's talk to the people that are in charge, our sheriff, the fire department, our responders. That takes accountability. A wise man told me today, be courageous in the face of adversity. I ask you today, find a way to hold accountable the men and women in our community who are in charge of keeping us safe. Just do that. Keep us safe. I believe that the answer is for the county commissioners to take this over. It doesn't make you guys experts, and I'm not asking you to disband the commission, the road commission at all. Let the men and women do their job. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there needs to be some accountability. And I know the 4 of you men in this city to be accountable for your actions. I know it because I've seen it myself. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our country and God bless our nation.
Thank you for that. You know what?
I'm gonna need, I got a lot. I'm kidding. I'll try and do 3.
Okay, yeah, but I want to remind everybody too, we know everything was going on out there, but why we're here, we need to know.
I'm not gonna, I implore others, they have a little more grace than I do in the speech. I don't have a lot of grace coming, so.
But I want to
Forgive me.
when they get up here to talk that, that is the question for us today.
Fair.
But
It's been 193 days since my family was involved in a serious accident at Hertz Corner in Deckerville. Since my last FOIA request in this weekend accident, there's been 14 additional crashes at the same intersection, from fender benders to death. To put this in perspective, it works out to roughly 1 accident every 13.78 days. Over a 190-day period, that is a consistent ongoing pattern of danger that cannot be ignored. Additionally, this gives us a 7.25 chance of being hit every time I go home. According to WM article that was published today, Commissioner Matuszek said that the Road Commission plans to consider temporary measures at its April 9th meeting. The fact that you acknowledge the need for action after this past weekend is telling. By doing so, you are effectively admitting that community concerns are valid. Yet, despite having access to detailed data and available resources that could address this problem, no meaningful action has been taken, simply because the solution didn't originate from your office. This refusal to act, even in the face of evidence, left residents vulnerable and frustrated. What's more concerning is that this temporary stopgap measures that are proposed for a problem that already has a long-going solution in place. On December 15th, the county commissioners approved a plan designed to address these intersections dangers permanently. Commissioners voted that the road commissioners had to install rumble strips and flashing lights at the 6 dangerous intersections. They also reported by December 22nd, 2025, with a follow-up report January 12th, 26, regarding implemented steps in a budgeting process. No one from the road commission board showed up to the meeting that they were enforced to go to. January 28th, on contrary, a letter sent to the county commissioners and township supervisors threatening that if action is taken by the county board of commissioners, please be enforced. Quote, if the road commission sees someone undertaking any work of that sort, it's going to report their duty to the Michigan State Police, and then it will remove the non-permitted traffic control devices and sue you and your contractors to recover the damage. That was your city just a month ago. Data for rumble strips and flashing lights. I've shared this with you guys. Rumble strips, a 28% reduction in all crashes. Flashing lights, 10.2 protection, or 10.2 reduction in crashes. 38.2 in total overall. According to WNEM, at Hertz Corner in Deckerville, the commission will stop ahead on the north and south approaches to the road commission. Matuszek said additional stop ahead signs with reflective stripes will be added, and the stop sign will be increased to 48 inches. We don't need bigger signs. We need sensory measures. Shift for audio feedback, powered flashing lights, and the stop signs for visual impact. All the data will be provided showing that rumble strips and flashings like proven save lives. So why is it hard, Commissioner Matuszek, to implement what actually works? Bigger paint and taller stop signs will not stop cars from hitting people. We need measures that truly protect lives. Commissioner Matuszek called these changes interim measures, saying they do not replace or shortcut the comprehensive study we are committed to completing. But how many more crashes, how many more injured or dead will it take for that study to be completed? Right now, it looks like less of a commitment to safety and more like a commitment to protecting their own position on the board while people keep getting hurt. I think a big clarification needs to be said. This is not about the road commission workers, staff in any way. This is about the 5 elected board members. Every other department in this county is doing their job. This board's not. 2 solutions: appointed commissioners that work directly under you to run the road commission, or a CFO style, where they report directly to you but run the day-to-day options. It's pretty simple
but we'll hear those outcomes in the future. Regardless of what happens in August, we will pursue recalls, file FOIAs, and continue to show the community what has not been done. Not only with the roads, but with what you've done to the Amish community by not helping them get their bridge. Transparency shouldn't be forced. It will be. Another accident has already happened, and statistics show that between now and August, there will be more. This will be on all your consciences. By resigning, your legacy will be that you tried. By refusing to resign and waiting to be removed, your legacy will be that you failed. It is clear that you are on this board for only the authority, healthcare benefits, and the money, not to save the lives of the community you are supposed to be serving. With all this, you said it yourself on the new Tuscola County Road Commission Facebook page, safe roads aren't a side project. Now it's time to prove that by resigning.
I didn't use my first. Doesn't matter what you do with roads, signs. 100% of it are the drivers. I have driven for 65 years. I've never had an accident because I'm a defensive driver. When I approach an intersection, try driving. Try driving properly.
Hey, point of order. Point of order. Point of order. We'll sit down, kid.
I'm a defensive driver, and if you do that,
So,
you don't have.
you know, we're not gonna let this meeting get out of hand. We're not gonna target. Hey, so, you know, we're gonna bring this meeting back for why we're here. Because we're getting away from those people. We're not gonna do this no more. We're not gonna target people. We're not targeting anybody individually. That's wrong. And so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna talk about the issues that's in front of us. And if we don't start talking about the issues in front of us, and then we're not gonna recess anything. The issues in front of us is what the board of commissioners have proposed to do with the road commission. That's the only question that we're interested in. It's the only question I want to hear about tonight, the rest of the night. You have 3 minutes to talk, and then we'll move on to the next one. So I'll speak to the.
3 minutes? I'll take less time than that. My name is Karen Varney. I'm from Wells Township. I used to be the supervisor in Wells Township. I was on that board for almost 30 years. I just want to, say, when you first became county commissioner, you are my district commissioner, you started coming to our board meetings. You always had this agenda to get rid of the road board. You would never ever say why. You would say, we need to do this, we need to blah, 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 and you leave. I think it's like second, third time you wrong it up at us. I finally asked you, I said, Kim, I said, can you put something in writing and show us what the problem is? Maybe you can put it in a resolution. You never did do that, not at all. So to me, thinking about all that, to where we are at today, makes me wonder if there is a personal agenda going on here. Also, you made comments about the township supervisors having problems working with these guys. You said that last meeting. I just watched the video before I came. You mentioned something about the township supervisors being transparent, working with them. I've never ever had a problem working with this board. I never had a problem. Their board meetings was open. If I had a problem, I would go to them. In fact, the last time I did, they weren't too happy with me. I got my way, they didn't. It all worked out good. Anytime their phones, I had a problem, I would call any of them. And they would pick up that phone. They would give me information. They would work with me. Right now, what I see going on is you guys think you are more qualified to appoint board members than us people electing them. You are telling us we are doing a lousy job electing these board members. And I think that's a slap in the face.
I'm Dion Sweeney, and I live at 2495 East Denver Road in Ellington Township. Quite familiar with the intersection that you're talking about. And my observation is it's adequately marked, but the rumble strips would help. They could drive up Cowwood Road, the Seawind Road. There are rumble strips there. You go on up into Bayport Road 142. They got rumble strips there. So if they help, great, but it's adequately marked. And for the study, I'm talking to you from a professional standpoint. When I was in the department, we had protocols, and you followed a protocol. Yes, you want a study done now, but it takes time. You got to follow a protocol. Because if you get it into court, the first thing they're going to ask you, what's your protocol? Did you do step A, B, C, and D? And if you skip one of those A, B, C, or D, you better be able to explain why you skipped A, B, C, or D. Or else you're going to get thrown out. And just to run out there and put rumble strips out without putting a study in, then you're opening yourself up for liability at other intersections. And I agree with what they said. If you do it at this one, you're going to have to do it at many others, but you better do your study first. And as far as the other issue that is at hand here, the board taking over the road commission. In my upbringing, I had a superior, and I answered to that superior. And if that person above him didn't like it, then that superior got called in. I didn't answer to Joe Smo at the top. I answered to my superior. And if he wanted to chew my butt, my superior chewed my butt, not the guy at the top. And I don't know what's going on here because I didn't come to the last one. But somebody at the road commission ought to be the superior that answers to somebody, 5 people here. So just to kick him out or kick that person out and take it over, I don't believe that's the right strategy. You know, people said, is it an hour thing? I don't know. I don't know any of you people. All I'm doing is talking to you from my experience. So as far as the intersection, I don't see a problem with putting that stuff in there. It is adequately marked. Matter of fact, it's more than adequately marked. Most intersections only have one stop sign in them. This one's got one on each side and a stop ahead. So some of them pull up to it. That's the only thing you see. Okay, thank you.
Russell Spears, Ellington Township Supervisor. I take some calls too. We're kind of in the middle of it because we got a hot intersection. First of all, on public, Ellington has been active, even though it isn't. Our actions aren't publicly seen like the road commissions in this board, but we have been proactive. And we talk about that and want that. And my job, the nature work with engineers, we got a thing at work. In God we trust. All others bring back. I got 3 pages here. I can you guys later. I'll condense to just a couple things. May 8th, 2025, several months before any of them. Ellington Township requested yield signs be converted to stop signs on Akron Road, Cedar Run Road, Akron Road, Green Road. October 15th of 2025, sent a reminder email. November 5th, I got a response. Hey, sorry for the delay. We'll get stop signs in this week. Was there a study done to put a stop sign where there was no stop sign? I doubt it. January 19th, and so I'll say January 13th, we formally requested rumble strips, flashing lights, all that stuff. And then on January 19th, it's township's position Deco Road probably needs to be stopped as well, just to ensure safety. Haven't had a response from the road commission other than doing their study. A couple more pieces of data from an email. Again, this is an October 15th date with the response. Because Huntington's being proactive, we want to know about clear viz corners in the right of way. So one of my bullet points in an email, Huntington Township is willing to help the road commission ensure there is clear visibility at corners, and we seek to have a discussion with you about continual improvement options to help reduce accidents. Response from highway engineer: we are always open to holding a discussion on how to help reduce accidents and improve safety. When it comes to specific locations, we want to make clear that we need to have the data so the data can drive the solution. Otherwise, we're just throwing problems at us, solutions. Yeah, we've done that today. We have one more point. Intersection at Aaron and Hertz Corner Road has a big bush on the northwest corner and big pine on southeast side at P Division. That's my statement as a supervisor. Good response from the highway engineer. This intersection, when you stop at the stop sign, you cannot see south when headed west or north when headed east. But if you pull forward and stop again, you are clearly able to see oncoming traffic. The west side of the road has 50 foot of right of way, and the bush in question appears between 33 feet and 50 feet. It's clearly in right of way. The highway engineer knows about it. It is 6 months later. Everyone in this room knows where that bush still is.
I'm Dennis Porter. I live Cassidy, address Elmwood Township. Over the past 25 years, I have personally helped police direct traffic at Dutcher and M81 accident, Deckerville and M81, where a gentleman hit a light pole, knocking the power lines down. I was there for hours helping the police officer direct traffic so there was no more traffic accidents. Over the years, I've helped police multiple times when there's been collisions. You talk about a study, I don't know whether it has to be 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, I don't know. But if you really want to study, pull up the police reports for the last 10 years.
Hey, don't object to the question. Anybody else out there? Back to your police.
Pull up the police reports. You can study all the data from the police reports. Goes back as long as the police have been here. I don't see why this has to drag out forever. And as far as accountability, I don't see any. That's all I have to say.
I believe there are a lot of good things to being said and bad things, you know. Ready?
Your name, sir?
Russell Reines. Okay, I live in Novista Town, in Dickerville, Englehart, you know. But I see driving too fast. You know, I see it every day. You go by my house, they're doing 65, 70 mile an hour down the road, you know. But
There's too many people getting killed. There's gotta be an answer. You just can't, paint 55 an hour on a blacktop road when it's icy and snowy. There ain't gonna be an answer, but there is an answer for something, you know what I mean? To save a life. I think it should be brought up, or vote amongst the people. They can vote for a new board if they can't figure out any answers, you know? So, like I say, there's gotta be an answer for everything, and these guys can't figure it out. Maybe we need a new board, you know? Okay, that's all I got to say.
Amanda Leemade. I live in Cat City. I did not come here planning to talk, but I want to let you know that I've been on I was on Carroll City Board for 8 years, and I made a lot of decisions that you guys have made. I've been on all the boards that you don't get paid on, and that everything is a thankless job. I also am an insurance agent. I've insured 3 people, 3 separate families, and I've been one of the first calls that I've had to take to deal with families that have lost people that have got hurt. That is not a difficult thing that I would think that these people have to do. Fix it. If it doesn't work, try something new. But you can't say it doesn't work if you don't try it. I don't understand why everyone is so concerned about letting the people decide this. Like, if you're doing your job, you shouldn't have a fear of what's going to happen. If you're doing your job, you're doing your job. Your boss is going to say yes. The people of Tuscaloosa County are going to say you're doing a job. I just find it very concerning that we are actually here arguing this point or trying to figure this out on what we need to do. Are we concerned because someone else is going to check what's going on? Are we concerned because I've heard concerns that saying, well, you guys can't oversee this, it's too much. That's your job. What do you mean it's not? You're going to find time to do it. Whether you're on the city board, whether you're on a little league board while you coach something, you're going to find time to do it. You're going to find experts that are going to help you. And I just cannot sit here and listen to all this. I'm so concerned that the citizens may get to choose who decides what the option is. I think you guys are all more than capable. I've read the articles. Like I said, I'm an insurance agent. I know the statistics on what happens in these intersections. You guys need to be the last stop. I mean, if you guys aren't, and we're not getting answers from the road commission, where do we go? You know, so that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anybody over there, Ian?
Okay, I'm Brian with New West Township. I just find it very ironic that all of a sudden now they can put bigger stop signs. How much of a study did it take to come to that conclusion?
I agree with everything. I want to keep folks that what we're here for.
I'm getting there.
That's the beat to death, okay.
I don't believe that we need to dissolve road commission, and I don't think that's really what's on the line here. That's what we've heard from their side, that you're going to dissolve it. I don't believe that's correct. It's going to be restructured from what your board said, correct? Restructuring. Do I think the people need to vote on this? Absolutely. I do. I think they need to answer to somebody, not just themselves. So.
I'm Susie Rockwell, and I'm the clerk in Ellington Township. And I would like to see someone. I think it needs to be on a ballot. I have attended road commission meetings, and the response that we get from them is less than adequate. The engineer sits with his back to the public and doesn't speak to the public. They answer to nobody, and they know it. And that has to change.
The sound is out.
Everyone else lose the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, yep.
I'm waiting for a chance to voice an opinion.
We might sign off and sign back in.
Okay, but we have to call in again.
Re-enter that code, yeah.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah, is everybody out of the meeting?
Yes, I think we all got lost.
Oh, shoot. All right, I'm gonna try to re-enter myself too again here.
I did try 2 times and it won't get me back in.
No, they don't want us talking, do they?
I don't know, and I don't
You're
know.
right.
I don't know if Google Meets shuts you off at a certain, I don't know if there's a time limit. I don't know.
Well, it shouldn't be.
No.
How many people?
Because last Tuesday, I stayed on the whole time and it was past this, so.
You had no problem? Okay.
No problem last time.
I don't use this very much, so.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should have drove to the meeting. I was gonna do that.
We're gonna
That's
text
what
some,
I'm thinking the same thing.
we're gonna text someone that's sitting there and see if someone can ask why us folks are kicked out.
How many people are we talking to right now? I'm one.
58.
58, geez.
Yeah, there's a lot of us on there, so they need to get us back on.
All right, whoever knows someone there, text them and we'll see if we can get back on.
We just sent it.
Okay. You know what? They should know this too. Like, oh, we just lost 59 people.
Just came back on. You see it?
No.
We're safe, smart drivers who stop and look both ways before crossing, as we were taught as children still find themselves in accidents. Rather than wasting time trying to dismantle an institution that's been working like a well-oiled machine for over a decade now, why are we not asking the sheriff's office for more patrols and enforcement? Well, that's right. This board right here also decides the funding for them as well as, and there's a shortage. Okay, then let's look further out. Can MDOT proactively start a heavy campaign with drivers at the source, classrooms, and drivers ed training? Texas had a seat buckle fatality problem once. They plastered the state with click it or ticket, and it's done wonders. I'm gonna stop now because I'm upset. Thank you.
Are we still not connected?
Hello. My name is Caleb Kruger. I am from Reese as well. That was my wife's up here. And I will first start off with saying that I do not believe that the board should be taking over the road commission. And I think, although I am all for democracy and I'm all for the public voting on something that is a government issue, as has been stated, I do not believe that we've been given proper information as to what your plan is or what is to become of the road commission once to overtake them, who would be appointed to the road commission as the board, and then how overseeing would then take place. I think all of us are curious and would like to know before any decisions or ballots passed of what your guys' plan is for the road commission's future and how you would manage it from now and also beyond yourselves. Thank you.
Let me just touch on that just for a second. You know, because the last 3 or 4 people have mentioned that, you know, about plan of order. These are hearings for us to have a discussion, you know, if we want to move forward. If we decide we want to move forward with this, the next thing you would have exactly what we're proposing. You know, but we haven't even got that far. We haven't decided this. We haven't started a plan because we want to hear from you people. That's why we're here. You know, we want to get your input on us moving forward or not moving forward. You know, that's why there's nothing as a plan yet, because we haven't got that far, you know. But that's why we're having a public hearing, hear from you people to see, you know, and we're taking what you guys say, we take into accountability, all of us. It doesn't matter what side you're on. And we're listening to them as far as doodling up here. We got commissioners writing down notes, and we're writing down different names that have been up here. Who's for, who's against it. So, it's, you know, it's not just you up here doodling. So, but I just want to make that clear, because people have brought that up 3 or 4 times. Well, there's no plan, there's no plan. Well, if we decide to go forward, you'll know a plan, and you'll hear that plan. That plan will be very specific on how you want to move forward. And again, so I just wanted to lay that out there to everybody that keeps telling us that there's no plan. Well, rather than decide that we're putting this on the ballot. So until you do that, then, you know, move forward. Go blue.
Greg Campbell, Ellington Township. It's already been touched on many of my points, but weekend accident, we're all aware of that. Don't need to hit that again. What I did find irritating, the very first speaker, going to put bigger signs, going to paint the pavement. He's putting lipstick on a pig, because this is distracted driving. They're not looking. I have family and myself to go through 2 of those intersections on a regular basis. At night, you got to dim your lights. It's so well lit up. There's no doubt in my mind that those intersections would pass any other studies. But something needs to be done over and above. My personal opinion is rumble strips. If you're looking at your phone, if you're daydreaming, looking out the window at the deer, if you hit them rumble strips, that might bring you back to your task at hand, which is driving your vehicle. So you can put all the circus animals you want out in front of them. They're not looking. They need something to jar them back to reality. And that's why I'm in favor of the rumble strips. I'm also in favor of putting this to a vote and trying to restructure that board. It has been, it doesn't answer to anybody. And if you've ever gone to one of their meetings, you would see that. They're, Commissioner Matusik brought out the last meeting, the resumes of the board members. What I got was, at one time or another, they were all farmers. There's nothing against farmers, but why couldn't it be just as easy as an electrician, a builder, a mechanic, a doctor, a lawyer? Anybody could be on the board and gain experience because they lean on their professional people, their engineers and stuff. The knowledge they have is from being there. Some of them are new. So to say that they're well qualified, I don't go with that. And the road commission, Commissioner Matusik kind of is taken aback by her responsibility. You know, Jack Lauren, he set that house on fire. He handed her the keys. She took them. So anything that comes down the pipe, she volunteered for it. And on this board, though, I do think, and it's been mentioned many times, we need to be more upfront with what is your plan? We need to know what your plan is. You got to go to the ballot, you got to talk to the voters, and they're going to need to know what your plan is. And I haven't really heard that yet. Thank you for your time.
Craig, I just talked about that.
Yeah, but did you? Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm William Haida. I'm from Fremont Township, and I just want to go on record to say that I think you should leave the road commission board the way it is. They all are elected people. If you don't like what they're doing, and when they come up for election, you go out, you either run yourself or you vote them out. So it's not any different than this board that I'm standing in front of me. And that if it all gets put on you, you take control. It's the same as what we've had with the road commission now. There's no recourse other than to recall you or elect somebody else. That's it. Thank you.
I want to point out that that's a guy that stays on subject. You know what I'm saying? Stays on point there. I appreciate that, sir. You know, that's what I hear. That was excellent. Appreciate that.
Brandon Black, Fremont Township. Hello, my name is Brandon Black. I grew up in Michigan, and when I was 18, I moved to Wyoming. I have worked in the oil and gas industry, building explosives for the Department of Defense in Tennessee, masonry and construction in New Jersey. I have been all over the country working. In 2020, I decided to move back home, buy a house, and look for a career with longevity and purpose. I found that at the Road Commission. I have been at the Road Commission for almost 6 years now as an AO, equipment operator, and progressing to an AGO. I now serve as work foreman, overseeing day-to-day operations and ensuring our projects are completed safely and efficiently. Throughout the time, I have also served on the Fremont Board, Township Board, and the Planning Board, which has deepened my commitment to this community. That is why I must address the recent proposal from the county commissioners at a township meeting. Commissioner Vaughn stated that the county commissioners are working on ballot language to disband the road commission, placing it under direct control. Vaughn claimed it had been his goal since 2016 and had begun advocating for it upon taking office. Then they changed their approach, saying they did not want to disband it, but would send it to the people to vote. Then it was revised again. They still wanted to vote, but now they proposed a 5-person appointed board. Most recently, the newspaper reported that they now want a 7-person appointed board. They can't make up their mind on what they really want. I'm afraid that if this does go through, this will be the kind of indecisive service we will get. and will strip away the kind of unbiased service we deserve. After reviewing hours of footage and notes, it is clear this is not about the community's best interests, but about personal ties and a power grab. As the saying goes, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Voting for this proposal is voting to silence yourself. Are they not going to appoint the people they want, who will do the work they want done, not the work people want done? I believe that is how we got the road commission board in the first place. It was the same sort of thing happening. I urge everyone to research this thoroughly before casting your vote. And this is all why I'm opposed to even putting this on the ballot, because I believe this is, can I continue? A few more sentences.
All right, go ahead.
Let me see where it was at. Because I believe this is a crucial moment that is politicizing a tragedy within our community. Board of Commissioners, Road Commission Board is already a voted-in board. I do not see the need to waste more time and resources on this matter. If you believe the Road Commission Board is not doing their job, it is the people's right to run against them, recall them, to get their voice heard in the way that they see fit. Thank you.
I'm Jim Bowden. I live here in Carroll. I live on Moody Road. Something needs to be done on Moody Road too. You put a bridge and you put rumble strips there, because I've been there going on 31 years. And I have seen people flying down that road. And when they come from the other way to Guilford Road on Luther, they're flying. I think they need to have rumble strips there. I see you got a sign there before the bridge, blind area, person blind area. I still don't stop them from flying down that road. I think rumble strips would do good. That way they'll slow down, because neighbors there got kids, little kids. If one of them were running out on the road there and get killed, somebody ain't doing their job right. And I think rumble strips would be good there at Hertz Corner and Deckerville Road too, and a traffic light.
You know, we hear both sides of this, you know, which is fine. That's why we're here, you know. Yes, why I didn't see it back there. I was just waiting a few minutes. Come on up.
Thank you for giving the citizens some time to discuss this issue with you. My name is Rich Sylvester. I'm from Guilford Township. I'm a farmer. We farm in several townships in the area in Saginaw County. I've watched this for years as we've worked fields, people run stop lines. I do believe it's worse now than it used to be, because there's many more distractions to be had. So something, whatever can be done to help this, should be. I used to call, I knew one of the local people that was an officer in Fairgrove and Akron to come out and sit at one of our fields to watch that bastard 138. And he left, and that was the end of that. But there's no question there's a problem. Why they do it, There's several reasons, but only they know what they do. I have worked with the road commission for over 40 years on many, many different projects. So I've worked with them before they become elected. And that was not a good situation, and I'll tell you why. It come down to every time somebody disagreed with the road commission, they would come to the commissioners. And the question you have to answer in your head, do you want 3 people making the possible decision of who's going to sit on that road commission? Or do you want 42,000 voters to decide that? I'm on the side of the 42,000 voters. I believe they can do a good job. They do a good job electing you people. I think they can elect them also. Because what's going to happen is every time there's an agreement, they're going to come to you. And you're going to have to put a lot of time in on it, not knowing what all the facts are. Now, if I went to the road commission and didn't get an answer I wanted, you betcha. In fact, I'm in the middle of one right now. I've been working on 2 years, and I just got told here a couple months ago by Brent, we got to start over again because there's a little problem. Hey, okay with that. They do protocol. They go by the law. I believe that's important. So however this ends up, I would like them to be elected. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Mary Ann Daly from Elmer Township. Would kind of like to make a participation out of what I'm about to say or ask. I would like to know, by show of hands in this room, of anyone who has been driving and saw someone on their phone while they were driving. If you don't raise your hand, you're lying. Everybody sees it, and I see it multiple times a day. I would implore you, as the board, to somehow find money, another millage, something for safety for the sheriff's department to enforce these laws better. And I am in favor of the county road commissioners being elected, not appointed. I want to make that decision for myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, we appreciate everybody that's come out tonight and voiced their opinion. We take all your opinions seriously, both sides. I know, I go up here to speak, sir.
Yeah, I didn't come to. Yes.
Blue.
Good crowd last night.
Go ahead.
Leaving a building that had 70,000 people with 50,000 of them cheering for the same thing. Grimshaw from Vassar Township, at least 50,000 of us cheering for the same team. It is inspiring that you put that many people together to get one thing accomplished. That was good to see. As to whether or not we should have a ballot issue to determine the future of the road commission, I don't think that it's going to necessarily change anything. You're presuming that it would pass and the road commission would be removed and the county board would immediately become in charge based on what the statute says. That's the protocol, that there would be an immediate transfer of all authority and power to the Tuscola County Road or Tuscola County Board of Commissioners. There wouldn't be an ad hoc committee, nothing would be your responsibility. Elections matter. People need to have a vote, and I don't have an issue with that. The quickest response would be if you feel that the county road commission board is not responding the way they should, you call them. I would be politically, if you want the voice of the voters, do a recall election of the county road commission. that would remove them because you have to put on the ballot who's going to replace them, and there'll be an immediate change in the road commission structure. So that's political ramification as well. I don't know that putting it on the ballot is necessarily going to bring it to the conclusion that some people might want or oppose. We obviously will not know that until it occurs. I don't envy you, but I do know that we have to look at what's behind it. I look at it as former commissioner, Commissioner Vaughn has been opposed to the county road commission being elected all the while I was on the board. We had several discussions about that while I was on the board, and he did not get the support of other board members. And clearly now that's been accomplished, at least to get it to this point. I don't think the answer is necessarily putting it under the control of the county board of commissioners. Your plate is full. The sheriff's department is a problem. We do have millages. You can't have deputies unless there's a change since I was on the board. Probably fund balance in the sheriff's millage yet that can't be fulfilled with the personnel. You hire people to be deputies if they won't come here. It's a thankless position, and don't take on more but you can digest because it'll kill you. Thank you.
Again, thanks everybody. Don't know. Thanks for showing your support. And if you want to come up here and speak, I just start walking up here and you're supposed to think about it a little bit. You want to talk, that's fine. If you want to hear as many people we can hear.
Name's Chuck Dennis. Be nice if there was a PA system in here.
That would be nice, Chuck.
The money you spent on it, I thought maybe we would get some, but I'm hard of hearing, so I've just been garbled what's been coming forth, but I think I speak loud enough that everybody can hear me, hopefully. I'm retired from the road commission, and when I worked there and beyond, you used to have a liaison man from your board that came there. Then all of a sudden, it was not necessary. I can remember the man coming and discussing any problems like this, where you had public coming to you, then they work back and forth. But, and on this whole deal of getting rid of the board you got now, you still haven't relayed to the public in a proper manner how you're going to run the road commission. Are you going to do away with of course, all board members you got now? Are you planning on doing away with any of the management, union contracts, or sports? How are you going to do it? Are you going to appoint a whole new board, a three-man board? Are you going to hire one individual to do the daily, maintenance? How are you? Yeah, I would like some answers on that. Do you have that now available? What you plan doing? Are you planning on, like I say, doing away with all the management you have now and appoint your own, or what is your guidelines here?
What I can say is, again, I can't technically say because there's 5 of us, and we won't technically discuss it until the what I can say is management people work at the road, which has nothing to do with anybody that's employed at the road commission.
I can't understand what you're saying.
It has nothing to do with anybody that's employed at the road commission.
You're relaying that it's all their problem. That,
no.
And like I say, when I was there and you had a liaison man, but you seem to figure that it's not necessary. And as far as you guys going to run, I'm looking here for the public's interest to want to know how you're going to run the road commission. Are you going to do a 3-man board? How are you going to do it? I think we deserve those answers.
So again, I want to report to the people out here. This is just a hearing to find out if you're going to do it.
We already know your mind made up.
I'm not saying that for sure.
We
haven't talked about how we want to move forward. We haven't talked about
it. Well, I think that you should have a plan to how you're going to move forward. That's what I'm saying. You want us to vote on letting you take over the road commission? There's no forward planning? I can see that it's.
The election was in August. By that time, there will be a plan to move forward, and you'll all know what that plan is, exactly how it's structured.
David Davidson, Fairgrove. I'm retired from the road commission. They treated me darn good. I'll tell you, if there were any problems while I was there, when the board heard about it, and it was in my division, I was a foreman there, I took care of it. It wasn't always what the people wanted, it was what the law and what we had worked in. Unfortunately, I lost a kid in a car wreck. It's his fault. He ran a stop sign. Where his mind was, I have no idea. But when he was killed, I didn't blame the road commission. I didn't blame anybody. It was his fault. The thing was, the guy that was coming the other way, it was a wide open intersection. What was he thinking of? I mean, in the 30 years I worked there, I bet you I've seen 200 people on stop signs. You can't stop and think why they run it. I mean, like Rich Sylvester said, I'm farming now. I'm out in the fields. I don't get around as much, but I still see people run intersections. So what are you gonna do at every intersection then? Last summer, I was at 5346. Almost everybody knows how that intersection is. Well, the car in front of me, fortunately, was looking left and right when a car blew through there at 60 miles an hour. I mean, if he wanted to have the sense to look before he had the right way to pull out, he would have been T-boned right in front of me. You guys take over everything. You're guaranteeing we're not going to have any more people run stop signs? I know you can't. So the board does, I think, a great job. I might be biased. I worked there for 30 years. They treated me good, but they answered everybody's question while I was there. The thing is, right now, you don't like what they're doing, vote them out. Run for office. They asked me, you want to get rid of the road?
Back here. Back here.
I mean, I didn't interrupt them.
I
mean, I know the Putnam's got quite a following.
Back, just here.
On my mother's side. I agree with you guys now, but we're still friends.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, I know, but I didn't start this. I'm just saying, if you don't like the road commission board, vote somebody else in there, run. How many of you in here have ran for office that's complaining right now? Run for the road commission. That's what I'm saying. It takes a lot to do that. Make a commitment, but changing the road board's not going to help. I don't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go blue.
Yeah. Anybody from our board up here? Okay. Nancy, you got something you want to talk about? You want to say?
Yes.
Speak loud as you can, please.
I will try to. I've heard people talk about who is road commission liaison. Right here. And I want you to know, I was appointed in October to this board. I don't know if I can stand up, if that's going to be any better. I was appointed in October to this board, and I assumed the role of Tom Young, being the county road commission liaison. I attended the meetings since I was appointed to the road commission, was not able to attend the meetings from January until now because the hearings for our commission and the road commission correspond at the same time. So I will be attending the meeting on Thursday again for the first time this year. As a commissioner in District 1, I have attended my township meetings, village meetings, and I stayed for the whole meeting. I don't just stay there and give a little report and take off, because I hear what goes on in those meetings throughout the course of the whole meeting. From those meetings, I brought back different things to the road commission, including Guilford Township having written a letter in October regarding dangerous intersections. That letter was addressed to the road commission. I attended their November meeting, Guilford Township, where they reported they had not heard back from the road commission regarding their letter. I also attended meetings where, and this is just a recent meeting, and Brent was there, as was Jason, because they came to the township meetings to talk about their road plans for the coming year, where some of the township officials at the meetings were questioning why they hadn't gotten their bills for their road bills in a timely fashion so that they could do their budgets for the coming year. And they were upset about that. I didn't get a chance to come and talk to the road commission about that yet, because obviously they had their own staff there witnessing it. I can tell you that I've heard from this board since I've been on it that we haven't had any financial reports from the road commission. Where's our financial report? I contacted the finance director and requested that he set a meeting up with the county controller to set up a financial overview report. His response to me was, Nancy, I received your message, period. 3 weeks ago, I talked to Julie and I said, Julie, we haven't had a financial report. And Julie said, I'll check into it. I have not heard back. We have some things going on that apparently pre-exposed, pre-whatever, the Putnam accident. The intersections have been problematic before the Putnam accident. The Putnam accident just brought everything to light. As far as the rumble strips, I was the one who wrote the work orders and took them to the road commission. And each of those work orders for those intersections required the supervisor's signature in that particular township. And I got those signatures because people wanted something done. When these commissioners, supervisors, residents have a problem and they're not getting a response, who do they come to? They come to this board thinking we have authority. You know what I found out? When I went in December and I requested, no, I told the road commission, we want the director of finance, we want the engineer, and we want the operations supervisor to come to the county commissioners so we can ask them what's going on, so they can talk to us directly. The then commissioner chairman said, we're not sending our people to the county commissioners to be browbeaten. I subsequently asked again and was told we respectfully declined because of our busy work schedules. We have tried to get information. We have tried to get resolved. We're all working for the benefit of the people. My family and I take Herd's Corner Road. And I've said this before at different township meetings. The road is great. There aren't missing stop signs. That's not the problem. The problem is distracted driving. How do you address distracted driving when people aren't looking? The stop signs are 1930, 1940 technology. We're living in 2026. People have push buttons. They can talk on their phone. They can listen. They can text. Their minds are somewhere else. Their car is driving, but they're not there. They've checked out. How do you bring that back? How do you protect that person that's going in the crossway from being hit by a car that's distracted? The rumble strips? I don't know about you, but every time I go down any MDOT highway, if you go over the center line, you get a mumble strip, I guess is the correct terminology, to keep you from going on the other side, averting a head-on collision. We had hoped that maybe those type of rumble strips could be used at stop signs. I had hoped that maybe the road commission could do a pilot study where they could put those dug in rumble strips, mumble strips at stop signs. I've gotten supervisors who say, I would like to have that at all the stop signs in my township to make sure people know that there's a stop. What do rumble strips do? They vibrate. So they give you a jolt on your body because it rumbles. It gives you an auditory sound. So you have something more than just the visual. You have two other senses that are waking you up. Hey, we're coming to a stop sign. I've gone to different intersections, Saginaw County, Sanilac County, Huron County, and they have rumble strips. We have none. I don't know why. These are good people. Brent, great, knows his stuff. A little stubborn, but he knows his stuff. Jason, they just got an award, and I want to recognize that. They have innovative ideas. I worked with Julie on the Parks and Rec for a number of years. Good people. And I'm going to call out Dave Kennard because of the meetings I attended, when I asked a question, whether it was, why didn't you write a letter back saying, I received your letter, you're concerned, and I'll look into it and I'll get back to you. He said, I didn't know we didn't send back response letters. I didn't know that. And he worked for the Road Commission for 30 years. When I asked about the rumble strips, he asked, he said, what is the difference between rumble and mumble strip? I've been doing my own research. And he also was the one who asked, how are we doing on the study? How's the study coming along? I heard that from Dave Kennard. And the other commissioners, while they're doing their job and supporting and making motions, I didn't hear that from the others. And I would like to just recognize the fact that Dave Kennard actually questioned things that I thought were important to the people. I'm coming back and reporting to the Road Commission about the issues. Good people. The Road Commission employees are good. The roads are good. I haven't seen a bad road. I haven't seen any signs that are missing. It's distracted driving. The gentleman that killed the Putnam family members, I think he got a year, if I'm not mistaken, in jail. He took 3 lives. He maimed a young girl, and he got a year. How do you protect people driving down that road from other distracted drivers, for whatever the reason? A rumble strip, it's not very much money. Lights, they've got them on in different places. Heck, I even saw Walmart's got flashing lights on one of their crossing signs where people walk. It's just something simple, common sense. What can we do? It's being proactive as opposed to reactive. And that's what I see, proactive versus reactive. Consistency, we've got other situations where, and I'm going to bring this up, Boy Scout Road. Boy Scout Road. It's been sitting there for, I don't know how many years.
Area again, you're talking about.
I got my 3 minutes.
Everything else but the point right here.
Well,
I have one commissioner doing it.
Because of these reasons, I feel it should go to the public. Let the public make a decision. Let the public know some of the things that we are dealing with that they don't know. If you don't watch our meetings, you don't know all of this stuff. Thank
you. And you get here tonight, I mean, people come up here, they're taking shots at me or whatever, don't know what's going on. I ain't got a plan or whatever. The bottom line is, back in the day, the county commissioners were the executive board to the county road commission. And that's where I'm at. People come to the county board when they want help if they can't get something done. Now, the only way to take it back the way it used to be, even if the board stays the same, take it back where it used to be, is you have to disband them first and redo it. And then you can take it back the way it used to be. But you have to do it that way. If I could do it if I could present something to this board without doing that, you can't. There's no other way to do it because the way they're structured right now, you can't do it. So that's about, there's got to be, in my opinion, again, I just give my opinion like everybody else, checks and balances. they come to us. If they have a problem, they come to us. And they don't go to the road commission board. No, thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Joan Spry has entered a comment in the chat, which I had not turned off, but I feel it should be read into public record if I may.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah.
This one right here?
Yes.
My name is Joan Spry. I live in Levesey Township. I believe this needs to be put on the ballot for the change, make the road commission leadership accountable to someone other than themselves. That's so. And again, you know, and it's not, and that's the bottom line here. That's what I just want to say that there's got to be another accountability forum when someone comes to us, because we are the last resort for about everything that people come to us. So if they have an issue, real commission, they come to us. But right now we're in a position, well, you know, sucks to be you, but you know, to do it, you have to go through what we're going through, and you can say that, you know, we have no plan, we have this, but that's basically it's accountability. And I said it right at the first meeting, you know, checks and balances, accountability, and but you have to go through these steps to get to where you want to go. Go ahead, man. I'll give you.
Oh, I can talk now? I just had one question. You said that the only.
You're the one I'm having problems with all that. Go ahead.
Because I asked questions.
Huh? You got to come up here, though, man.
I already did my turn. I had one question.
I know.
Just a response to your, you just said that the only option was to disband the board and start over. Can we not take it to the vote to have for it to be 3-member elected board or appointed board? Because I believe we can. That is an option, not just disbanding the board altogether and you guys deciding what to do.
Run it by me again.
So instead of disbanding the board, which is what your language is saying right now,
Right.
right? That is what it says right now.
That's what it says. I
Okay.
agree with you.
Okay, you can take it, the board could be, or the elected ballot language could say to take it from a 5-member elected board to a 3-member appointed board. But you don't want to do that because it takes time. Is
No.
that correct?
No. No.
Okay, so you said that was their only option. Are you unaware of this other option?
I'm just saying, what I'm just saying, man, is you still got to take it to the ballot. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
not arguing that at all. I
Right.
just want to know what's
What
on
I'm
the
saying
ballot and
is,
why you're only saying
back
there's
in-
one option,
back-
because there's more than one option.
No, there's one option that it has to, you have to disband the board before you go to the other option. That's all I'm saying. You know, you can't, if you got a 5-member elected road commission board, you can't just change them to 3 appointed because you got people that are elected. You know, at the election. But that's fine, Danny, too, but,
Chairman, can I say one?
yes, wait.
I just want to call Jason Rutt. In District 4, anytime I call Jason, he says, Commissioner, what can I do for you? And he helps me out as much as he can, when he can, and he's top notch. I mean, he picks up the phone. If you don't pick up the phone, he calls me back. And he's helped me on some things that he probably shouldn't have done, but he's done it. And just want to say he's a good employee, and all them employees out there work hard. I know they do. So I appreciate you, Jason.
No comment. There's been a lot of comments, and I'm not sure what can be added.
Yeah, I don't know.
Been a very discerning last 2 hearings in a sense that lots of issues and tangential issues, but the real, as I said before, the real issue here, the highest level, is to mitigate future accidents in areas that seem to have a propensity of maiming people or killing them. And as I said before, I can never understand how many tombstones it would take to complete a study. Now, I want to move from there because we have the Amish community, we have the Putman family, and we have apparently other people have been maimed at these corners. The real issue here that Chairman Vaughn has talked about is accountability. And the accountability is what we need, as years ago, Chairman Peterson would say when we changed to elected from appointed, this is, as Chairman I said, this is the board of last resort. Doesn't matter. All these departments across the county report to this board. When someone comes to the board with an issue, we were challenged with the road commission of having any authority, let alone influence, through their attorneys. We did learn through Commissioner Barrios that in the latest audit notes that we do have financial and benefit.
We are a beneficiary and we have financial responsibility for the road commission.
Which has
County
been
commissioners do.
chagrined by the board to the point that they sent their attorney, and I mentioned that last time, to the board and a letter that was mentioned earlier as well. We should not, ladies and gentlemen, we should not be here tonight. If what was proposed in TV5 or whatever, and Facebook, the road commission board, if that was done 6 months ago, we probably would not be here. That's the chagrin of the whole thing, which really is telling that there needs to be some oversight at some point. I'm not, at this point, I've heard the questions of what's the structure? Well, I'm not exactly sure myself. I've not been in with any discussions to this point regarding structure. But the important thing is Commissioner Vaughn has asked, and we attempted to get, is a sense of what people think. This is a small subsection. It was mentioned 44,000 people, probably between 44,000 and 52,000 in Tuscola County. That's going to decide on this if it goes to a ballot. When the people decide, the people have to live with the results. But it does not erase the lives that were lost or the potential lives. It was presented by the Putnams in terms of the stats, in terms of the propensity of another accident. It's very near. It's just a matter. And I don't know about you, but when you drive today, if you were sitting in this meeting, 2 hearings, I think you'd be very concerned about all the drivers around you. I mean, I would think that because it can happen anywhere. But yet we got 6 intersections that we've been trying to discuss, trying to get some action. All of a sudden, the action's being taken. That's perplexing. Now, again, I understand we all have somewhat a position that we would like to take, but the position we all need to take is do whatever we need to do to expedite above policy, statute, but use common sense in some of the situations to make a remedy that might save the next life or a young lady from being maimed for life. That's the real issue. And from this board's perspective, and the chairman and the rest of the commissioners, we'll have to weigh everything that you've said. And whether we go to the ballot or not, as it's been said many times, the people will decide. The people, whatever they decide, that will be the course of action from that point. But from a pragmatic view, there needs to be whatever happened between the relationship between the road commission and the board of commissioners, which used to be workable. They used to make the financial reports. They used to come in a couple times a year. Whatever's happened, I don't know. But to be polarized, to get to this point with a lot of deaths, it's ridiculous. Back to you, Chairman.
Anybody don't agree with you, Steve? Oh, I don't know. I think we've heard about, we don't need to discuss no more. We've heard about from both sides. We appreciate again everybody coming out here and speaking your mind. That's why we do these things. And again, we want to thank you. We want to thank the road commission for coming out here to also be represented. And with that there, if I know the commissioners got anything else to to add or?
Yeah, I do. Make the motion to adjourn.
I'll support that.
It's been moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Barrios, to adjourn this public hearing again. Thanks, everybody, and you can contact me anytime you want for any questions you got.